What happens when you reach out to the person who dumped you? Maybe you've been in no contact for 3 months, 6 months, maybe even a year, and you're just feeling curious. You just want to know. Just like when your mum used to tell you when you was little, do not touch the hot stove, but you went and touched it anyway because you just had to find out for yourself. So stick around, and I'm going to tell you what happens when you break no contact with the ex that dumped you. And welcome back to the Love Fix. It's Nick, as always, doing my best to get you through your breakups as easily and as healthily as possible. If today's video is not enough for you, check out the description below, smash the Facebook link, and come and join the community. Everyone is helping each other out, giving great advice, and just getting everyone else through their breakups. Without further ado, let's get into it. Breaking no contact is on everyone's mind that is going through a breakup, especially for the Dumpee. I know this because I get asked probably 20 times a day, "Hey Nick, can I break no contact with my ex? Do you think it would be okay if I broke no contact in this way?" And I would normally hear some kind of convoluted story to break that no contact. And sometimes it's along the lines of, "Oh, I just want to make sure the dog's okay," or, it's their birthday coming up, or "I saw a film that they would really like and I'm going to tell them about it." And that's typically how we justify breaking no contact. But in reality, what that is based upon is a desire to get them back. The intention behind it is all wrong. So assuming a best case scenario, let's say you catch your ex on a good day, you've had sufficient no contact, let's say it's been 6 months, and they're no longer bothered by you, they've calmed down a little bit, they've had time to think, it's a good day, they're in a good mood, you reach out and they contact you back. Now, in most cases, the dumpee is going to think, "Oh wow, they contact me back, this is a really good sign." But maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to be friendly. Maybe they do miss you, but they don't miss you romantically. They miss you as a human being. They miss you as a friend. Or maybe they are feeling lonely. Maybe the rebound didn't work out. Maybe the monkey branch didn't work out. Maybe they've been dating around and that hasn't worked out and they find themselves single, and all of a sudden, the person they used to love, the person that used to make them feel safe, i.e. you, has reached out, and they take it as an opportunity to get some validation. Now, what typically happens after this is that they get the validation from you, they still realize that the relationship with you or reconciliation with you is not a good idea, they back off, and you go back to day one of the breakup. And going back to day one of the breakup after 6 months of healing is savagery beyond all savagery. If you think you were hurting on day one or over the last 6 months, boy, let me tell you, the pain that you're about to experience if you do break no contact is going to be 10 times worse than it ever was. But I'm going to tell you a story, because there have been times where I've reached out to an ex. Once it was successful, but most other times it hasn't been. So the one time it was successful and it actually resulted in a reconciliation. I was dating a girl who I was massively in love with. We're going back probably 10 years now, maybe a little bit more. Anyway, we broke up. She had some avoidant issues at the time. I had some anxious issues, and if you're familiar with attachment styles, you know very well avoidance and anxious people attract each other, but it's normally quite explosive. So she ended the relationship with me because she had a fear of intimacy, connection, commitment, all that kind of thing. And at the time I didn't understand it, so I was very, very angry. And I didn't talk to her for about 2 years. I come completely away. I tried to recover. I rebounded to a new girl, and I ended up getting cheated on for my troubles. So yeah, it got very messy. So after I've been cheated on, I was looking for my next rebound, because that's who I was back then. I didn't know how to be single, and that's not a good place to be. So I reached out, And lo and behold, I caught her on a good day. And she had moved country, and she was actually moving back to the UK. And she told me, hey, look, I'm back in the UK. Let's meet up. I've missed talking to you. I've missed being around you, blah, 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 blah. So we meet up. We exchange war stories about relationships. She had a messy relationship after me. I had a messy relationship after her. And I told her, I said, hey, look, once I've dealt with the situation I'm in, because I'm kicking my ex, the one that cheated, out of my house, we can meet up and we can have dinner or something like that. We both knew what was going to happen. We both knew. So we met up. We got back together. It was fire for about 3 months. And then we very, very quickly realized why we broke up in the first place. Now, the avoidance from her was still there, and the anxiousness from me was still there. But the main reason we split up is because we have very different lifestyles, and this is a lot of the time a compatibility issue that people do not discuss. So even though that first 3 months was amazing, and I mean amazing, I was still hurt from being cheated on. I was still hurt from the first time being dumped by the woman I was reconciling with. So now I've got it in stereo. I've got it in surround sound, the pain. And 3 months goes past, and I started realizing, okay, this isn't going to go anywhere. And I think about another 6 weeks after that, we separated. So you can imagine how bad the pain was after breaking no contact, after such a long time, after trying to deal with her, trying to heal from her, because I never fully got over her at the time. I rebounded to a new girl, and then I rebounded back to the one that hurt me. Now, no hard feelings. I'm actually friends with this woman now. We've sorted our shit out, and we know we're not right for each other, but we're good friends. She's a good human being. I'm a good human being. Well, I like to think so anyway, most of the time. But we always had fun with each other. We always got on, and every now and then we meet up for lunch, we discuss life, and we go on our merry way, and that's it. So that's kind of a successful failure. But let me tell you about all the other times when I've been dumped in my 20s, and I tried to reach out. I tried to break no contact. Guys, it never worked. It never once worked. Every time I've been dumped, when I was younger, and I begged and I pleaded and I tried to out-logic their feelings, it just made it 10 times worse, because it pushed them away 10 times harder, 10 times faster, 10 times further. And now, maybe, I don't know, I haven't had any contact with these women for a long time, but maybe me being anxious, me begging and pleading, I turned myself into this monster that they don't like, or they didn't recognize, and maybe they think now, okay, he's not a good guy, he's not a human being, or not a good human being, sorry. But imagine if I'd have backed off. Imagine if I'd have said, okay, I'll give you your space. And maybe one day they would have reached out, even if it wasn't for a reconciliation. They would have been appreciative and respectful of me giving them the space, of me respecting their wishes. So guys, can breaking no contact work? Yeah, it can. It can. I've certainly come across instances in my own life and with clients where they got lucky. But 80% of the time, I would say it's not a good idea. And especially if your intentions are not pure. Because people say, oh, I just want to contact them from closure. Guys, the day they left, you had closure. I just want to contact them because I missed their daughter, or I missed their son. I just want to contact them because I miss their dog. I just want to contact them because there's this toothbrush that I really like that I left at their house. Guys, the intention behind that is to facilitate some kind of emotional reaction. You know that, and I know that. So if you are going to break no contact, I can't stop you. But you must be brutally honest about your intentions behind the action. Now, if I reached out to exes that I've dumped, or who have dumped me, where my intentions were just to say, hey, how are you? How's life? Yes, because we were great as friends, but we were terrible as boyfriend and girlfriend. So these are good people, good women, good human beings. And it's okay, I enjoyed your company before we got together. I enjoyed your company whilst we was together. Okay, that didn't work out, but I'm in a good enough place now where I don't have any more romantic feelings for you or sexual desires towards you, and I'm okay still being in your presence because I've dealt with that. So unless you have dealt with that, unless you're okay with not getting the response that you want, unless you have to not be attached to an outcome. If you're not attached to the outcome, then okay, reach out to your ex, see what happens. Who knows? You might get lucky. You might catch them on the right day. But here's the thing, guys. Have you leveled up? Have you done your healing? Have they leveled up? Have they done their healing? Because 9 times out of 10, the answer to that is no. You dig up the old relationship. It ends within 3 to 6 months. And you guys are back on my channel or back on the phone to me for a one-to-one coaching session. And that conveniently leads me into, if you do need a one-to-one coaching session with me, if you are struggling with no contact and dealing with a breakup, hit the coaching link in the description below and set up your appointment with me. Outside of that, it's a lot of work. It's hard. No contact is hard. It's brutal. No contact is the story of you loving yourself more than your ex. That is what no contact is. It is the ultimate form of self-love, which is the ultimate form of self-harm, but in a good way. It's a self-harm that's going to benefit you in the future. That's all I've got for today. I hope this has been helpful. Keep your chin up, stay strong, always remember you are enough, and I will see you on the other side.